Hedge and welcome to Dwellers, your host the Mad Bag here, and today I'm going to bring you a video that I have been putting together for quite some time. I have found the locations of every word to every shout in the game. So I'm going to peruse through them real fast. 3 words of animal allegiance: aura whisper, become ethereal, call dragon, call valor, clear skies, disarm, dismay, dragon rend, elemental fury, fire breath. From fire breath, we're going to continue with frost breath, ice form, kind's peace, marked for death, slow time, storm call, throw voice, unrelenting force, and whirlwind sprint. Now that you've seen every shout, I am going to show you the location of all 3 words of each shout and give you a brief rundown of some of the shout's statistics, and maybe even what I think they should be used for. Although, I have to admit, as you can see, I don't even have some of these purchased yet. I haven't used all of them, so I might not have real great advice for some. Alright, so let's jump right into it. For the first word of animal allegiance, I have arrived at Angarvund, I think is how you should pronounce that. And as I head in to show you the word wall itself, let me note that no matter what order you get all 3 words of a shout, in other words, no matter which wall you visit first, you get the first word first, the second word second, and the third word third. So if you're going out to get animal allegiance, and you jump ahead in the video to the third word that I explore, and it's the first one that you find for animal allegiance, it will be the first word of the shout. And all shouts go like that. I don't know why I opened that urn back there. Most of these areas are already clear, if not all of them. Note that some of these have quests, actually most of these have quests related to them, and oftentimes you'll have objectives and puzzles to get through. I'm going to assume that you can get through all that on your own, because this video series would be freaking huge if I was showing every solution to every puzzle. I do have a couple tips on a few word walls on how to get to them a little bit faster, but for the most part I'm going to ignore all the shenanigans and just come straight to the word wall. So here, once again, I'm going to flash the local map just so you can see it, although this is a singular area. It kind of dead ends. It's not real easy to get lost. As you go through the quest, you have to enter each of these doors to throw some switches and basically solve a puzzle. At the end of it, you will see the very first word for animal allegiance. Or again, as I said, if you have visited other animal allegiance walls, it might be the second or third word. Alright, so let's check out another word of animal allegiance. From Angarvund in the Rift, we are going to travel to Ancient's Ascent, which is in Falkreath Hold. Ancient's Ascent is up on the mountain at the very south end of Skyrim, and it is a little bit tricky to get to, but not terribly so. So you can see that my back is facing the path that comes up the mountain. I'm facing out east and now out north. The path actually comes from, let's see, what is this area? The Bone Chill Passage. So right down below that, there's this cave that is the Bone Chill Passage that you can get to from the main road that heads out of Falkreath. If you're heading from Falkreath to, say, Helgen, it'll be on your right or on the south side of the road. So you enter Bone Chill Passage, you come out there, and of course you see the steps, you see the ancient ruins, or the indications of ancient ruins, and now you see the word wall. So, oh, here we have a dragon. I'm going to ignore him for a second. This is the word wall for, or I should say a word wall for animal allegiance. So you can get another word of the shout there. Let's move on to the third word and explore it. From the Ancient's Ascent, we are going to travel way up north for the third and final word of animal allegiance to Ysgramor's Tomb. This happens to be intertwined with the companion's quest Glory of the Dead, which is, if I remember correctly, kind of towards the end of the companion storyline. I believe I can get through here without giving any spoilers. I'm probably going to cut out much of me running through the dungeon, because again, I'm going to assume that you guys know where to go, as you will have quest objectives that take you through all of this. So I'm going to jump real quick into Ysgramor's Tomb, and we're going to go find the word, and then I'm going to give you a flash of the local map. Within Ysgramor's Tomb, you will be faced with a number of trials. Your companions will drop off slowly, and eventually you'll have a wall open up to the right side of, to the left side of this main chamber. So again, when you enter Isgrimor's tomb, this is going to be familiar to you, this statue right here. It's one of the first chambers you enter. And eventually, I believe you go through that door first, maybe even through that door on the right first. You complete some companions quests, and eventually this door opens up. That's a short path up, and then back out to Skyrim. And we're deposited at the base of some steps that go up to the top of the mountain under which Isgrimor's tomb exists. And up here on a little terrace of the mountain, we will find the third and final word of animal allegiance. Alright, now unfortunately animal allegiance is one that I can't really demonstrate for you guys, or can't really say a whole lot about, because as you see, I don't have it, and right now I don't have any dragon souls to buy it. I've seen a couple YouTube videos on it though, and just to do a brief descriptor of it, animal allegiance will summon a pack of animals to come help protect you, and this can be any kind of animals you see in the world, like wolves, saber cats, bears, I think spiders even in places and times, which is really odd. The three different words of animal allegiance increase the radius of it. So at first it's a small radius, so you might want to make sure you've actually got animals close. By the time you get to the third, I think it actually summons animals. Like if you don't have animals anywhere around you, you'll almost always still get animals. And it also increases the duration. The first word is 30 seconds, second is 45 seconds, third word is 60 seconds. And then on my screen here, across the bottom, you can see this recharge time. Each word increases the overall recharge time, 50 seconds, 60 seconds, 70 seconds. Alright, so there's a rundown of animal allegiance. Let us continue to Aura Whisper. The first word of Aura Whisper is in Northwind Summit in the Rift. So that's Riften right down to the south. There's not really an easy way to travel quickly to a hold that's real nearby this one. So you're likely going to have to do some running unless you have a location close to it anyway. And I'm really glad to see that all these dragons are respawning. Here's the wall itself. You guys just saw me fast travel to it. There's not a whole lot to show about this one. I'm going to snap to the local map for just a second. Oh, wrong mouse there. So here's the dragon head for the summit itself. And these stairs come from, as if you're like down off this side of the mountain. There's a road that comes from Riften right over here, and if you're moving north on this road, you can look off to your left or off to the west, and you can kind of get on the path that comes up to this area and this word wall. Excuse me, dragon, I'm trying to make a video here. The next word of Aura Whisper is in Thu'um within the Reach. There is a dungeon quest associated with this one called Evil in Waiting, and this is a dragon priest's lair. The dragon priest is dead. I'm not going to detail any of that stuff right now. Eventually I will have some videos out with them as well. Alright, so I've fast traveled to Thu'um here. And it's pretty clear which way I'm to go. And I'm going to jump in here and chop out some of running through the monotonous part of the dungeon and show you the wall. As you enter Thu'um, you'll first go through the vestibule, which I've completely cut out because it's just like a hallway in one room. It's really short. And once you're in Thu'um itself, of course you'll have some puzzles to get through here, but you'll eventually progress all the way down to this bottom end to get into the catacombs. And the catacombs house the word wall itself. You originally pop out way up here in the catacombs, and as you can see, you've got to go through some winding tunnels. You end up in this chamber, which has the word wall. Part of the quest, you lower this gate, you lower the spikes here, and you can get into the word itself. And that, friends, is word number 2 of Aura Whisper. The third and final word of Aura Whisper is in a place called Volenrud within the Pale, Dawnstar's little area. Volenrud is part of a Dark Brotherhood quest. The quest name is The Silence Has Been Broken. Volenrud is within an unassuming little burrow. I think, actually, hold on. Do I go in the top? I think I go in the top. Yes, there is the door. Within Volenrud, and actually I may have been wrong just a second ago when I said that this is part of a Dark Brotherhood quest. You come down here for a Dark Brotherhood quest, but you actually go off to the left over there, down into a little cove, And I think there's actually a second quest here, something like Silenced Tongues, or something like that, that you explore the side entrances of Volunruud. You collect a couple ceremonial weapons, and then you eventually have to come up here and put the weapons into this door. You can see this axe right up here and this sword. You have to place them in the door so that you can open it, and then you go deeper into Volunruud to the Elder's Cairn, where the word wall itself exists. The word wall is right against this part of the chamber. So if you're coming in, you come down a hallway and it winds around a little bit, and you eventually come, let's see, I don't remember if you come right through here or right around here, but it's the only path that you can travel through here. And this is where you get the third word of Aura Whisper. Now, Aura Whisper is one that I happen to have all three words of, so I'm going to do a little demonstration of it. I also happen to have some Draugr still alive down in here. So let's choose the Aura Whisper. Let's get our shout on. And you will see, the neat thing about this is life form. See that life form over there? I'm not even totally sure where that guy is. As a matter of fact, I could probably jump down here and find him. Yep, sure enough. It shows them to you through all walls, through, I think, infinite amounts of terrain, so long as they're in the area that you're in. Alright, so as far as statistics go on Aura Whisper, each additional word of Aura Whisper increases both the duration and the cooldown of the shout. So the cooldown, as you can see, again, across the bottom of the screen, starts at 30, goes up 10 every time. 30, 40, 50. The duration starts at 10 and goes up by 10, so it goes 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. The third word lasting 30 seconds. Very handy to have, and it's got a pretty short recharge, so a decent one, especially if you're trying to do speed runs and just sneak through dungeons without waking up the Draugr, which obviously, since there's Draugr still here, is something that I do fairly often. Moving right along, we have, what's our next shout? What's our next shout? Become ethereal. Let's go find some words. The very first word of Become Ethereal is in Ironbind Barrow within Winterhold Hold. And you can get to its entrance right here, I think. This looks like it. To Ironbind Barrow. Sure enough, so let's take another peek at that. It's on the south side of this mountain, I think, from any of these locations down in here. Or like from, I don't know, I guess Dawnstar isn't terribly far away from it. It's technically in Winterhold's region, and there is a pass right here, but if you have anything revealed down here, it's probably going to be your best way to get here to Ironbind Barrow. Let us run inside. Within Ironbind Barrow, you enter over here. You can see that this is snowy, like it's a little cave area, and then it eventually drops down into some ruins. It's pretty linear. Right up to this door, there are no real problems. This little gate has a bit of a trick to it. The lever is up there. What an odd place to put a lever. And as you proceed through the tricky door into the final chamber and fight off all the Draugr, bam! Here you have a word of Become Ethereal. Moving right along. The second word of Become Ethereal is in the Lost Valley readout within the Reach, which you can clearly see right down here. Bile Gulch Mine around it, not too far from Fort Sunguard. I'm sure there's probably something up there I don't have discovered. Of course, right next to Bard's Leap Summit. Woohoo! The word itself, however, is at the top of the summit, at the top of Bard's Leap. Right back here, will you find a couple Hagraven? Yes, there's the wall. So to show you on the mini-map, on the local map, if you fast travel to the Lost Valley Redoubt, I think you'll come somewhere down here, and you can kind of see the steps. There's a number of terraces. You have to go through all kinds of different Forsworn checkpoints and groupings of enemies. Eventually you'll get to the top. There's this little bridge across the water you just saw me cross, and right back here, you've got the word wall. The third and final word of Become Ethereal is at Ustengrav in Hjalmark. Actually, I think it's Hjalmarch, now that I say it. The quest here, or the dungeon here, Ustengrav, is actually part of a quest, the main quest, the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. The Greybeards send you on this quest as one of the very first tasks before you're officially part of their order. And you are to come here and retrieve a horn. First, you will have to traverse most of the upper part of Ustengrav to get to the Ustengrav depths. Note that this path that you see right here is hidden until you actually clear the dungeon, so this is not a way that you can go. But you need to go down here. The Ustengrav depths will deposit you here, and for a while it's pretty linear, and then it gets to where this loops around a couple times. And actually there's a door out the back of this that progresses the quest right over there. Bit of a little puzzle. I'm not going to really say anything about it. The word wall itself is in the very bottom of the Ustengrav depths. So when you originally come in, you'll be over there on that wall when it's no longer linear, and you'll come down that little ramp, and then you'll be able to see it from over there. The very bottom here has the word wall, and that wraps up Become Ethereal. So to show Become Ethereal off, here we have a drop that would clearly kill me. But with Become Ethereal, I can fall safely. I live! I live! Oh yeah, and while you're in here, don't forget to whirlwind sprint across the pillars up here to get to the room on the other side, and a little bit of hidden treasure. Note that with Become Ethereal at the throat of the world, with the leader of the Greybeards, whom I'm not going to reveal so as not to spoil anything. Oh boy, there's a dragon. Hope he doesn't attack. With the leader of the Greybeards, you can actually train in a passive skill for Become Ethereal. The passive is called Eternal Spirit, that says, while ethereal, you recover health 25% faster. So anytime you have that shout on. Now, Become Ethereal, as you can see, has a pretty short cooldown in general. But it also has pretty short durations. Word 1 is 8 seconds, Word 2 is 13 seconds, and Word 3 is 18 seconds. Which is decent. That's probably the biggest fall I can think of in the game. And that's 18 seconds of not taking damage from any enemies whatsoever, including dragons. They can't do the one-shot bite on you, none of that stuff. So, there's Become Ethereal. Now, Call of Dragon, kind of a unique one. Call Dragon, you get all at once. All 3 words, I think, are the same. You can't use one word the way you can on some other shouts. And you get them all from a gentleman named Esbern. Now, I'm not going to spoil too much about this, but this guy is part of the main quest, the name of which is The Fallen. Now, I'm going to show you guys this shout real quick, but I'm not going to show it to you in action. Once you see this, it'll be pretty clear what the purpose is and what you can do with it. That is my ally, Odaving. Whoa, hold up. That's a frost dragon. That's definitely not what I expected to happen. Alright, for real though, guys, Odaving is my little buddy who likes to help me out in battle. And the second some giants get angry at me, he gets angry at some giants. So, it's pretty clear to see the power of this shout, how and when it can be used. As you can see from the recharge here, and actually, this proves that I was wrong. I said that there's only one word of the shout, and you can only use one word of the shout, but it looks like that's not right. If you tap it, it's probably just going to instantly reset your recharge and do nothing. You have to hold it for all 3 words, and when you do, it's 240 seconds, so a solid 4 minutes. And its effect lasts, I don't know how long it lasts. It actually doesn't say. And indeed, there is no effect. Okay, so I believe this is actually trigger-based, and I think your dragon will last as long as you have enemies left to kill. So, sure enough, he's breathing on the next. Let's see if we can wipe out some giants real quick. Shouldn't take me too terribly long. Especially with the paralysis. Die, giant! What do we have? What do we have? Anything else? I see a mammoth over there. Is Odahviing back to flying peaceably? Maybe? Yeah, Odahviing took off. So, right as soon as combat ends, he splits. There you go, Call Dragon. The next shout is Call of Valor, and unfortunately I can't show you this call on the map because it's in a location that you're taken to during a main storyline quest that I'm going to try not to spoil, that you can't travel back to after you go through it. You're taken there a somewhat special way that doesn't allow you to go to or from it, and it's not actually a location on the map after you've done it. Otherwise I'd at least point to it and show you. The shout itself is learned from this gentleman right here, Soon.
But your fate lies elsewhere. When you have completed your count of days, I may welcome you again with glad friendship and bid you join the blessed feasting.
The first elf amongst the shore followers. And now, to get Call of Valor.
And I will send you back.
Yes, please, send me back to Tamriel.
Return now to Nurn, with this rich boon from shore, my lord. A shout to bring a hero from Sovngarde in your hour.
A rich boon. And just as a little preview, these are the 3 warriors that Call of Valor can potentially summon. One is Hakon, a 2-handed warrior. One is Feldir, who has a great sword, but generally uses shouts in very rapid sequence, and also uses spells. And then, of course, there's Gormlaith. She's got a sword and a shield, but she's kind of known as the archer. And just to give an example of the shout itself in action, I'm going to anger a giant, and I'm going to whip out level 3 of the shout, which is going to bring the warrior. Level 1 brings the archer, level 2 brings the mage, and each lasts 1 minute and has a 180-second cooldown, so 3-minute cooldown. So let's check this out. There goes the warrior. Oh nice, he opens with the Fusro Da. It's actually strong enough to throw the giant. So just from my point of reference, that seems to be doing less damage per hit than, say, the Dremor Lord summon in the Conjuration School of Magic. I've seen from the mage as well that the mage dies really easy. I had a Briarheart, a Forsworn Briarheart, take him out in about 2 hits. So it might not be the most powerful thing. 1 minute's not a real long last time either as compared to Conjuration, so not a fantastic shout. Maybe great for like an archer to get something, you know, some other meat out there, some kind of other target just to soak attention and damage. But other than that, kind of more of a novelty than anything else. Moving right along, the next shout is Clear Skies, which you learn all 3 words of at the same time from Arngir in High Hrothgar as part of the, again, main Dragonborn quest. So progress through it. I believe the part of the quest that you learn the shout on is Throat of the World, and it comes right after the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Note that there is a battle on the Throat of the World. You'll know which one I'm talking about when you get there, in which you can use Clear Skies to keep an enemy's storm call from affecting you. You can clear skies into the air, and it will stop his storm call, which stops the projectiles that rain down on you. Can be very handy. Continuing right along, the next shout we'll be taking a look at is at Elder's Blood Peak. I should say the first word of it anyway. The shout itself is Disarm. So let's jump into my shout menu. Now, the various words of Disarm cause it to affect higher level opponents. I'm going to go through the shouts, or through the words of it first, and then we'll be taking a look at the shout itself. So here's a word wall. Again, at Elder's Blood Peak, a dragon roost on the top of this mountain. This is the mountain directly south of Morthal. It's kind of close to Labyrinthian. The way to get up this mountain, there's a sheer wall on the north side, so coming from the south or coming through this little ravine and then over and up is also feasible. But it's outside, you gotta fight a dragon to get it, and other than that, pretty simple word to grab hold of. You can find another word of the Disarm shout at Silverdrift Lair, which, if I can get a better view here, I actually can't, here we go, it's giving me some trouble zooming out. This is, I'm zoomed in really close, this is on a mountain, just south of Dawnstar, Wayward Pass, Nightgate Inn, Alfdand is not too far from it. It's on the south face right here, you can get to it from this little open plain. Silverdrift Lair. Deep within Silverdrift Lair, and don't be confused, the path that you take does not go through this little channel. You have to come out here, and there's a lot of running around. You eventually come through the top level of this area, and into this chamber. Deep within Silverdrift Lair, as I said before, you will find the word wall itself, and another word of Disarm. And then we can exit stage left. Note that on your way out, there's kind of a tricky little gate. Just in that the pull chain, again, is just offset on a wall in a slightly weird place. The third and final word of Disarm is in Snowvale Sanctum, in Winterhold Hold. The Snowvale Sanctum is a place that's locked unless you're on a certain part of the Thieves Guild quest, specifically Speaking with Silence. You will come here with a companion, he will unlock the door for you. When entering Snowvale, you'll actually enter the catacombs first, and you can see the map here. Most of it's pretty linear. A bit of it here wraps around itself. You have to get to the top of this room and go across the little bridge-like caged-in structure at the top, and proceed into the Snowvale Sanctum. You will enter from the catacombs here, and within the Snowvale Sanctum, this first main chamber. You come in on that side of it through that door, and right now I'm just on the little upper platform of it. The word wall itself, though, is right here. And that is the final word of Disarm. Now, Disarm is one I have. It's one that I got kind of early. So let's go see if we can find a group of, let's say, bandits or something to try it out on. So Disarm's cooldowns, and actually it just occurred to me that those are not the perfectly accurate cooldowns. Those are the cooldowns with a Blessing of Talos on me. The cooldown's normally 30, 35, 40 seconds. So they're being reduced by, I believe, 10%? No, that's 20%, isn't it? Yeah, they're being reduced by 20% right at the moment. Anyway, Disarm, the three different words, of course, affect higher level targets, each one. The first one affects targets up to level 12, the second one up to level 20, the third up to level 30. So, not that it matters so much with the magic user, but I'm going to see if I can get a couple bandits together to drop their weapons. Maybe, maybe not. The dragon might complicate this. Let's do it here. Yep, sure enough. Dagger and Warhammer. Down! It wasn't a great example, but I'm going to stick with that. You can do it to a rather large group of people. You saw a little bit of a spread there. You can get quite a bigger AoE than that. It is somewhat interesting to note the level of Disarm keeps it from affecting the very highest level Forsworn, Warlords, Ravagers, Briarhearts, the very highest level Farmer, which are Shadowmasters, the very highest level Draugr, which are Deathlords and Death Overlords, and I believe it affects all bandits, so all bandits are level 30 or below, and that, I don't know, kind of makes it situational. Kind of doesn't. It's fairly broad in its application to targets that use weapons. Next shout on the list is going to be Dismaying Shout, which is basically an AoE fear. The first word of it is at Dead Crone Rock. This is the location that you may travel to through Daedric Quest Pieces of the Past. However, you don't have to be on that quest to get up here. I think you can just go through the little area. Oh, and note, yeah, this is actually a really good note. The best way to get all the way back here is to come along a path. There's kind of like a sheer rock wall that separates this from Markarth, and the best way to get there is to go along a path where you cross this river somewhere right in this area and come towards Dushnik Yal, and then up a little footpath from there. And Dead Crone Rock, which is what this very top part of it is called, is actually at the top of this huge multi-terrace ruin-looking structure, and it's totally filled with Forsworn. Of course, those Daedric quests weren't meant to be easy. You have to go through at least one quote-unquote dungeon to get up here. I think it's called Hag's End or something like that. And then you can pick up a word of Dismaying Shout. The second word of Dismaying Shout is in Labyrinthian, which I've just now come running into. However, it's not in the part of Labyrinthian that you enter on the College of Winterhold quest. It's actually in a different part called Shalador's Maze. So Shalador's Maze is over here off to the left, right around this burrow that you can deposit the dragon masks at. Right over here by this door. The maze itself is this interesting little stone structure that has certain checkpoints and locked gates that require magicka interaction to deal with. Now, when you first come up here, there's going to be 4 staffs right there that allow you to get through most of the locks, but note that, and I haven't actually done this with either of my characters, I've been here with my archer, but she doesn't have a summon, so I couldn't get past one part. There's a part of the mage where you go underground, and it comes up in that circle if you don't have a conjuration summon. There's a conjuration symbol that none of the 4 staffs cover, and I think you can use a summon at the symbol to continue on into the maze. I don't know. I'm thinking you get some kind of reward. I haven't been there yet. But anyway, you don't have to enter the maze at all to get this next word of Dismaying Shout. It's actually just at the back of this chamber. So to take a look at the local map, you come in down here. So a short hallway, there's the stone maze in the middle, and then word wall. And then to take a look at this again, I guess I could kind of zoom in. Labyrinthian kind of faces this way. The stairs come up to this north face of it. And when you come up, Labyrinthian is the obvious place to go. It's this big door up to your right. And off to your left is the other door that I went in that goes to Shalador's Maze. The third and final word of Dismaying Shout, just a little ways south of Riften, is Lost Tongue Overlook. Another dragon roost. I've already gone up some of the stairs here. Going up some more. This roost is in the south face of the mountain that shores up the end of the map, basically. The edge of traversable Skyrim. And that dragon likely won't cause me too much trouble. Here we have the word wall itself. Again, right there. Let's go fear some people. Just for fun, I figure we'd bring this one to Solitude and see how some Imperials like getting feared. So this will clearly demonstrate its combat usefulness. One of those guards apparently was too powerful. Oh, wow, they're attacking the one that's feared. And the ones that are feared are taking off. He's cowering. Check that out. Oh, he's going to run while cowering. Of course it is fear. He'll run some more. The levels of Dismaying Shout are as follows. First word, Foss, is max level 7. Rue is max level 15, and Mar is max level 24. So this actually gets into some caps where there are some bandits that you can't fear. So the top level, the 3-word version of this, it doesn't affect super high level targets. The cooldown is 40, 45, 50. I've still got that Talos thing on, so mine will be slightly less than that. So I'm not even going to show you.